See if we get this thing going like it should be. All right, I don't see us over
Do you
there.
watch The Boys?
Yeah, I'm behind right now, but I do watch The Boys though. There we go. We're in there. It's just a little bit of a delay.
Hola, como se hace?
All right, we're in. It looks good. I'm gonna start sending out links. You know,
We
just
live
in
right
case.
now?
Yeah, we
you're
are
just
live
recording.
right now. No, we're live.
Hello, anybody that's them.
Hello, knackers.
Hello. Hello out there.
Rada rada, what's going on?
Rada, rada.
What was it? Chowder? Was it chowder?
Yeah.
Anybody that's randomly popping in right now, we are going to be getting started in a few. Like real talk, we're just trying to make sure everything is looking good and working like it should be.
Yes. I don't want to click the so you know on YouTube when you go on your home page you can see like the most recent uploads from everybody you subscribe from. So I could see us going live, but I'm not gonna click it yet. I don't know the first viewer.
I already clicked it, so
Well.
Well, I had
what
to.
the ties brought in.
Well, I had to. We're gonna get started in like 3 minutes.
Okay. Alright. It's about damn time.
You're tripping. I'm just setting up links, sharing the Twitter real quick.
You said you shared it to Twitter. I shared it to Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you. How do I? Can you share it to Insta? Let's see.
I don't know. Probably to the I don't know.
She. Nah. Let's see. It said to Instagram stories or to Instagram chats, but then when I clicked the Instagram story, it was like, sorry, we can't copy this link at the moment.
Oh man. Well, that's just trash.
I wonder if it's because we're live. We live, baby.
Maybe it is what it is. All right. So we got 1 minute before. I'm gonna go ahead and share it to my Facebook. Well, the page is Facebook.
You already shared it on Twitter.
Yep, I have. We're about to get started in just a few seconds here. I got one more link to share.
If I take one more drink, I'm going to end up...
You can't say that.
Passing out. I'm going to end up passing out. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Shoot, I don't know what they was talking about in that song.
Yeah, I would have ended up passing out too.
Anytime I felt like if I was at that moment, man, baby, I'm going to sleep.
Talking about tapping out, right?
You okay? Okay.
All right. It is now 10 a.m. So I say we go ahead and start talking.
Welcome to the BK Spadez Show.
I got one more link to share, I guess.
Yeah. We said 11 a.m. 10 Central, but we really meant 10:55.
No, we did not. We meant like exactly right now. Talk about some we meant 10:55. You tripping.
If I had one wish, you'll be my boo.
Alright, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo, Space Gang. Welcome to the season premiere. The season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, season 6 premiere of the BK Spadez Show. I am your host, the BK Spadez, here with my very, very lovely co-host,
Novacaine, baby. We out here.
High five. Are those the high fives for everybody?
I just want to point something out really quickly. I have on my Goku shirt, and I see you got Bulma on yours.
Did we coordinate this? Like
out of nowhere.
For real, I woke up like today seems like a Bulma day. You know, since she like one of my favorite characters on the whole show. I was like, I'm gonna put on the
Really?
Bulma today. Yeah. I don't have like a Dragon. This is the only Dragon Ball Z shirt that I own currently. Like, cause I don't see any that I actually like. But this Bulma one, I thought was kind of. I thought it was adorable, and I was like, oh, look at little Bulma, look at little Bulma from the past.
It's sweet.
All right, stop. All right, Space Gang. So check it out. Listen, other day's episode, we're gonna be talking about a few things, but our main event today is trans women. So we're gonna be talking about trans women in sports and society, and mostly how Novacaine feels about
God dang.
trans women. I'm gonna set it up. How Novacaine feel about trans women being called women versus biological women, and I don't know exactly what her thoughts are exactly. So I know I just repeated exactly what. Anyway, so I'm just gonna wait. I wanted to wait and see what you had to say because I'm interested to hear your opinions on that. Hey, Andrea, we see you. Shout out to Andrea in the comment section. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining in.
Hola.
Also on the show, we're gonna be talking about since we're talking about trans women, we're gonna be touching on some Umbrella Academy storyline there that we thought was pretty interesting in the execution of this current season, and we're gonna be talking about Roe v. Wade. Definitely gonna talk about Roe v. Wade. We can't not talk about Roe v. Wade.
We can't not talk about Roe v. Wade.
We're gonna talk about definitely gonna get into Elon Musk and his daddy's baby daddy drama,
Oh,
which is
Lord.
totally weird. We're gonna touch on R. Kelly and Gazelle? Ghislaine. Listen, y'all know I be messing up some names. Just because it's a new season doesn't mean that changes.
Okay.
And I think that for the most part, that's the bulk of our show.
I think so. I think you named everything. I think that's everything.
All right, you got the rundown. Now that you got the rundown, let's get into this episode. But make sure y'all do us a favor and head over to www.thebkspadeshow.com where you can get some really great merch, all the episodes, all the videos, everything you want to see right there in one place. Boom. All right, moving on. Let's jump into this because I'm ready to get into this topic. So let's talk about the Umbrella Academy first.
Okay. Under my umbrella.
I don't know. I hope you guys are watching the Umbrella Academy. It's a really good show on Netflix. If you're not, I don't want to spoil too much for you, so I won't. We're just going to jump right into a character named Vanya. Who, in the first 2 seasons of the show, this is 3rd season. In the first 2 seasons, it's 2nd season?
No, go ahead. What you was about to say? Her name is Vanya in the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, in the first 2 seasons of the show, her name is Vanya. She's a woman. But in the 3rd season, what is old girl name? What's going on? Hey, if you can deliver food anytime you want, bro. Yeah, just leave it at the door. I get it eventually. In the show, in real life, the actress that plays Vanya came out as trans.
Mm-hmm. I think that was in 2nd season, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, during the 2nd season. But she had full intentions on continuing the character as a female Vanya. But Netflix, the writers, and the creator of the comic book that the show is based on was like, no, you're trans, so we want the character to reflect you, basically. And they were okay with the changes. So here we are, a lot of people upset that she goes from Vanya to Victor in the 3rd season, and they thought it was kind of weird and disrespectful to the character itself. So what do you think? Community be damned. What do you think?
personally, I don't think it was disrespectful, but I do think it was just a little bit out of place. Like it didn't really fit in with the storyline itself. But like you said, they wanted to say that the character reflected Elliot Page, so they wanted the character to go through that transition as well. But like I said, I don't think it was disrespectful. I just felt like it was out of place. Like if they're trying to save the world for the third time, oh, the universe this time. They're trying to save the universe this time. Like, huh? You got some time to. Oh, I'm not myself. And I haven't been feeling myself for a long time. Meanwhile, we got Allison over here ready to. That's another story. Never mind. Never mind.
Stay on topic on this. We're definitely gonna have a episode where we're nerding out, but this ain't the one. We on the tight time schedule.
So okay? Right, no facts. So I just felt like it was a little out of place. I could have done with or without it, and it did. It just felt a little. But I understand why they did it.
Yeah, I agree with you. It does definitely seem out of left field. I think the execution was really terrible. Like, I'm okay with having trans characters. I'm okay with having gay characters. I'm okay with having different, because in the world we live in, we're super diverse. Like, it's these people, different races, different ethnicities. It exists. So for everybody to be up in arms about the whole white makes right, white is default, and they get upset anytime any character is changed in the slightest, I think that's stupid. I really don't have some super scientific way of saying that. It's just dumb. So there's no reason for you to be upset about this stuff. It's a character on TV, and let's just be honest here. It doesn't affect how the character interacts with the world.
No, it doesn't. That's why I felt out of place. That's exactly why. I'm sorry. Still has his powers. He still is like the least favorite sibling. He is still like the out of place person. So it's like it didn't really do anything for the storyline for me, myself.
It didn't. So. Because we didn't know that because the Ellen Page is the actress. Because Elliot, I'm sorry. Is the actor now. This is an accident. It's not on purpose, everybody.
You're trying your best. You're trying your best. You gotta get used to it.
Yeah.
You gotta get used to it.
So Elliot, when she was Ellen, it didn't matter because we didn't see a buildup of her saying, I am awkward and I feel out of place because I am not in my own skin. Now, had we, hindsight's 2020, of course. Had we had that in the first two seasons, or at least in the second season, and then the change came, it would have hit harder.
Yeah.
So they really didn't have to change it, especially because Elliot didn't care about whether the character was trans. I'm sure he appreciates it, but it didn't matter to him, so it shouldn't have mattered as much to the writers. But again, it's their product. They can do what they want. You could do one or two things. You can watch it, you can turn it off.
Yeah. It's still trippy though to me. Like Juno grew up to be Elliot. That's all. That's what me personally, but
I've heard that from the community, the nerd community, and people that was attracted.
It was shocking.
It was very Ellen.
Shocking. Yeah, it was very shocking. It was one of those that you didn't see coming type of thing.
Facts. All right. So speaking of Umbrella Academy, let's move on to trans people in actual society. Let's see.
Oh, Andrea says she feels like she's not surprised. Oh, that makes one of us. Because I was surprised. I ain't gonna hold you. Maybe Andrea saw something that we didn't see.
Well, I always thought she was an adorable lady, Ellen. Not like I was attracted to her or anything. I just thought she was an adorable lady. It's like she gave off little sister vibes. Oh, that's my little sister over there. That's how I kind of view Ellen. So for me, it was just, I didn't see that coming, but okay.
Yeah. Facts. But it's okay. That's the world we live in, It don't affect me.
Andrea, I think you might be the only one not surprised by Elliot's
I think so. I
transformation.
think so. I think so. Because
Because
did you just say transformation? You better
did
not
I?
have just said transformation.
I didn't mean transfer. I meant transition. I was reading her comment, and it absolutely says Elliot transition. And I am such a nerd that every
Well, then
time I see the word
again,
trans, I transformer
transformer.
is the
Transformer.
first.
That's the
It's the
first thing that
first
popped in
word
my
that
head.
yeah. It was not on purpose, man. Don't shoot me, y'all.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Oh, don't look so disappointed. It's okay.
I'm
Everybody,
disappointed in myself right
even
now.
even pimps mess up. It's okay.
Pimps be messing up too. Um, let's move on so we can get through some of this conversation before I get myself into any more trouble. All right. So, what about trans women in sports? Because that's a huge thing right now. Thanks, Andrea. So,
Personally,
what do you feel? What is your feelings on that?
personally, of course, I feel like trans women, specifically trans women, should have their own like category. For the simple fact, biologically, you're still a male.
Mm-hmm.
Biologically, you know, we already know scientifically that men are stronger. They can do certain things that women can't do. Well, maybe physically stronger. I ain't gonna go further in that
Because
part.
there's
But
definitely different levels to that.
yeah, but for like, okay, so prime example, the swimmer, the trans woman swimmer that decided to go into the women's league because he was getting dogged as a male swimmer. So of course, if he has a longer wingspan, if he's taller, if he has more muscle mass, of course he'd probably be better in a woman's sport. So personally, I think that trans women should definitely have like their own category. A lot of people probably like, no, they could perform with women, but at the same time, you don't see trans men trying to get into the NBA. You don't see trans men saying anything about sports because they already know the physical disadvantage that they're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just me and my little tidbit on that.
Okay, so my thoughts are one was first of all the swimmer was are we sure that's exactly why he transitioned and went into women's sports?
That's the
That's not
rumor.
okay. That's the rumor. Okay, I just
Yeah,
wanted to
we
point
don't
that out.
know.
So
Yeah,
allegedly,
allegedly, he
allegedly.
transitioned to become a better swimmer for the women's league.
Okay,
Allegedly.
all right. So number two, there are plenty of women that are like you alluded to that are really stronger than men. So, like, say, Rhea Ripley, she's on the taller end, you know.
Okay.
So if she was to join, and she lifts weights. I'm sure she probably got powerful legs. She looks like she does. She's a
Oh
strong
yeah, she do.
individual. Or Bianca Belair. I'm using wrestlers because that's the only like tall women in my head right now, or slightly
And Bianca
taller
not even
women.
tall.
She
Bianca
not
not
that
even
tall,
tall.
but she has longer limbs, and like so if she was to swim, she will have that wingspan too. So it's kind of hard to argue, and I definitely understand both sides of this argument. As a woman, you're like, we already have to put up with so much, and then all of a sudden, now we have to compete against more people that are men or were men, and now they're coming into our space. So for you, you're not biological. Why are you here? And I get that, but when we break it down into like sub levels, I guess, is it
Like
fair?
it's sort of
It,
like weight classes in boxing. That's how I feel like.
yeah, I get that, but how about we say we do like preliminaries to see exactly how strong or how fast every woman is and trans woman together, and then we separate them into classes, because I feel like if we say you got to have your transport over here, that is basically segregation, and then we're just gonna open up a whole nother can of worms.
Okay, but that goes to the fact that trans women are not women. Period. I hate it. I hate to say it. I really hate to say it, guys, but trans women are not women. I had to go deep diving for a hot little second over the past
Mm-hmm.
couple of months because a lot of people have called me transphobic in the past. Also, a little bit off topic. Let's abolish this whole transphobia, homophobic word. Phobia literally means irrational fear of. So, arachnophobia, you have an irrational fear of spiders. You don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
around them. You don't want to look at them. You definitely don't want it to touch you. I never felt that way.
Okay.
Never in my life had I felt that way. But going back to the previous part where I was saying that trans women are not women, I had to do some diving just to realize, just to understand scientifically what makes
Yeah.
a woman a woman. Everything that came back had to do specifically with our reproductive organs. Because
Mm.
honestly, that is the difference between a man and a woman. Yes, we still have the same type of blood. Yes, we still have the same type of lungs. But in a man and a woman, they might be different sizes. They
Okay.
might I think men have like a different artery, like a different main artery in the leg compared to women.
Mm-hmm.
Um so those are like biological things that separates men and women. So when you're transitioning from a man into a woman, you can't biologically change your DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that's just unfortunate. So
I mean, it's true though. You can't. You're right.
that's why I am on this whole trans women are not women. For a very long time, women had to fight for so many different rights. Hell, just I think just last year we started making more than a man in the workplace just last year.
Yeah, it's very recent. So yeah.
So it's like I can respect you for who you are. I'm going to respect that because that's your choice in life. But don't try to dumb me down because I'm naturally born as a woman. Don't try to dumb me down because I can't see you as a woman. Also, how can I respect you as a woman and you didn't even have bottom surgery? How can I call you a woman and you got a big ass penis between your legs? That doesn't make any sense to me. I will call you a trans woman because that's what you identify as, but you're not a woman. Period. So those are my feelings. Those are my thoughts. I'll probably get canceled, and I don't care.
So just to reiterate, I don't think you should be counseled for that. I definitely I can understand where you're coming from. On a personal note, I'm not a woman, so I don't really have like that big of a dog in the fight. I just respect people's boundaries and people what they want to identify as and how everybody feels because I can understand all sides of this argument. I get it. When you are a trans individual, from my understanding, you go through growing up,
Uh oh. Uh oh.
right? So I kind of understand that when you have those feelings. So you won't get like an argument against me about wanting to be a woman, but I also understand that women. I'm sorry, y'all. It threw me off because we're live right now, and then the chat just stopped on
It
YouTube.
froze for a
Everything
little.
shut down, so I got
It
a little
froze for a
concerned.
little.
It threw my thought off. So it's look, we're still not used to this live thing. This is fairly new. We're gonna try to go live on every episode, and then redo an episode. I mean, chop it up, get all the good bits out of it, and then repost these on
Spotify.
Tuesday or Wednesday on Spotify, which is a bit of a plug there, and on the website and all that good stuff. But anyway, I'm sorry, that's a tangent. I'll get back on because we got to end this conversation.
Go ahead, go ahead.
So I totally get it, and I totally get how women feel because y'all, again, you guys went through, you ladies go through so much against men, and we men give you so much hell about so much stuff, and then all of a sudden, you have biological men transitioning to women, and it's kind of hard to say, okay, we grew It's just saying we're strong women because we went through so much. We had to go through so much bullshit. I'm talking. Uh, I really don't want to say rape on the air, but I'm gonna say it.
Trans women can't even tell me about the struggles of growing up and growing through puberty as a
Yeah,
female.
I was gonna
We're
say
talking
you
about
got.
period here. We're talking about the daggone.
I knew you was gonna go off. I was like, I was waiting on you to go
coaster.
off. I was like, don't go off on them too. Don't go off on them. But
We're
yeah,
talking about an emotional roller coaster through puberty. You don't know what's up or down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand men go through their own puberty as well, but like, as a woman, those hormones are ridiculous.
it's a different type of puberty though. Like it's not the same. It's not remotely the same.
We literally, I was having this conversation about how I understood drugs more than I knew about my own body. Growing up, so like I get a period at 11, 12 years old, but I didn't even understand halfway why. But I had to learn why. I had to figure it all out. But now I'm in my 30s and you want me to call you you want me to call you a woman because you transition, but you can't even tell me the struggles of being a woman. So it doesn't even make sense. So that's why I cannot call trans women women. Trans women are trans women, period. And then another thing, trans men, you don't never see anything in the news about trans men want this, trans men want that. The only thing I've ever seen was like always taking the female off of their packaging for trans men.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've seen. Only thing. But hey, that's what
So are you saying men are gatekeeping trans men from being a part of the community? Are you suggesting that, or is that just how I took that and I took that wrong?
No. I don't think anybody is gatekeeping. I think if anybody's nobody's gatekeeping because I don't even really understand that term. That's like basically like a group of people trying to keep outsiders out, I guess.
Yeah, and you kind of give them tests like if we were talking, say we were talking about Dragon Ball Z, and you meet a girl and she likes Dragon Ball Z. She's like, hey, I like Dragon Ball Z. Can I hang out with y'all? No, yeah, for the most part. And then it don't even have to be that. It's just like, but do you watch? And then we start giving you the test. And I see a lot of nerd people, and we're getting on subject. Don't get on this subject too hard. I'm just using this as an example. Men test women on the knowledge of their nerddom, and in order to say you could be a part of this community or not. So that's what gatekeeping is, basically. Okay. It's like you say you're a part of this community, but because you're an outsider, I gotta hit you with the what do you know? And if you don't know what I think you should know, then you can't be a part of this proverbial community, which doesn't matter because you could just be a fan on your own. So anyway, I don't know how that could correlate to men and women doing that against trans men and women. Because I do hear that conversation a lot, though. You know, you didn't go through this, so you can't be that. You don't know this, so you can't be that.
Yeah.
You know?
But I don't think that's gatekeeping. I think that's more of saying, like, I can't wake up tomorrow and say I'm a slug. I don't know nothing about the slug struggle. Like, I could be a trans slug, but I can't be like, I'm a slug. You know? Biologically, I'm black. I'm a woman. I know that. I know the struggles of both sides. I can't wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm a white woman.
I mean, trans race is starting to be a thing now.
Trans race is a thing I've seen. I can't wake up tomorrow, bleach my skin, and be like, I'm white. I don't know anything about being white.
I can understand that. I mean, even within the black community, when allies come in, and I say that loosely sometimes. Sometimes you actually have allies, and then other times you have people that are being performative. So when actual allies come in, and we're looking at them with the side eye because we're so used to people being performative, we don't want to accept them into the community, and we're like, why are you here?
I'm sorry, they cut
hold on.
Comments.
Andrea Jones said, she said Rachel Dolezal would disagree. Yes, she would. Hey, that lady. Say what you want about that lady, but that lady had that curl. she was rocking that curl. She was natural. Was that a wig though? Was she like
No, that
putting
was
on
her
a
hair, I
wig? That
think.
was her hair.
She
Okay,
she
Rach.
probably put a perm in it. So for white people, when they put a perm in their hair, it curls up. For us, it straightens our hair.
I learned something new today. Ain't know nothing about perms and other people's hair. I only know about the perms from my sister and my mom when they sitting yelling at when she hit her with that comb because she want to be still back in the day. That's my only experience with perms.
And Kevin talking about something. He identifies as a 60-year-old rich man. Okay. Why 60?
Right? What? Why? Well, all I'm saying is, it's 60 the new 50 apparently.
But okay.
I mean, you was like that ain't much of a jump there.
You still get that AARP card at that time.
Look,
And
I
then
can
he
wait to
also
don't
said,
diss AARP. I'm too close to AARP. I got like another 30, and then I get my card.
chill. We're just a little bit closer than we were last year. Okay, you'll be alright. Then he also said biologically we were born with some presets, so he understand. What do you mean presets? Like what did you mean by that? I'm guessing as a man. I don't know.
Well, in video games and stuff, you have preset that give you kind of almost already made human being, and then you just kind of
And
click
then you
them,
gotta
and then you edit them yourself. So I think that may be where he was going with
He
that.
probably was, because he is definitely a gamer for sure.
All right, so we're gonna end this conversation, but I have this article from 2021, written by Dan Avery over at NBCNews.com. And it's called Trans Women Retain Athletic Edge After a Year of Hormone Therapy, Studies Find. And within this article, it's just basically telling about how they did this study with active duty soldiers. And they studied like 40 something of them. I'm looking for it. Here we go. It was 3 physicians. They conducted a retrospective review of medical records and fitness tests for 29 transgender men and 46 transgender women from 2013 to 2018. Now, the reason I bring up this article is because I was watching, I think, The Daily Show, and I can't remember the lady's name that was on there, but she was mentioning that she told Trevor, it was a recent episode, I believe, that there were no studies. Trevor Noah.
Oh.
From The Daily Show.
The Daily Show.
He was. I can't remember who she was interviewing. I'll try to find it later. Sorry, you guys. I am slipping on my pimping today. But he did an interview with this trans lady. She's an advocate. Seems very smart, very intelligent lady. But she was saying that there was no studies done. And I will agree, there's not many studies done, but to say there's none is a little shaky on, your information. Because here's the study here. But anyway, in this study, the Air Force fitness assessment includes a number of push-ups, and sit-ups performed in a minute, and the time required to run 1.5 miles or whatever. Basically, they did this test, and for the first 2 years after starting hormones, the trans women in their review were able to do 10% more push-ups and 6% more sit-ups than their cisgender female counterparts. After 2 years, Roberts told NBC News they were fairly equivalent to the cisgender women. So
who was
basically
very equivalent to the cisgender women? Trans women?
Mm-hmm. So basically, eventually, after 2 years of being on the hormones and getting the balance and everything balances out, they were basically equivalent. So
you gotta have the 2 years of the hormones, though. That's the kill. That's the kill to the mo right there.
At least according to this article and this one study. I didn't see any other significant studies anywhere else. But I will say, go read this article. It's a very good article to have another side of the conversation. Again, that's MSNBC. That's NBCNews.com. Trans women retain athletic edge after a year of hormone therapy, study finds. That's the article. See? I will link that on the Facebook and on Twitter.
So
that's
they
a new
say
site.
That even with the hormones, they still have an athletic edge.
A slight, but
Slight.
for at least for the first 2 years.
So ain't no telling what's going to happen in 5 years.
Well, we don't know yet. Yeah, because the article does go on to say that a lot of the women, I mean, a lot of the people in that test, you know, they weren't keeping up with everybody. So I can't really say it's a conclusive study because they didn't continue keeping up with everybody because they were probably either out of the military. You know, that's a whole nother can of worms, especially when you're trans in the military. So we're going to end that conversation and we're going to move on to Roe v. Wade.
Oh, dang! I forgot we had to talk about that.
Yeah. We actually are like 5 minutes overtime on that last conversation. So
let's burn it down.
So unless you've been living under a rock, and I'm pretty sure you guys haven't.
Okay.
We found out a few months ago that Roe v. Wade was going to be overturned.
No, that. Oh yeah. When we first found out, yeah.
We found out because they had.
5.
Yeah, because the data leaked of, you know, because they do like a mock-up vote and they give their disposition before they do their actual one. They get it like a pre-thought kind of in the Supreme Court. Fast forward a couple of months later, it actually happened. The whole world was shocked that it happened. Most of us was pissed. Most of us was confused because the only thing some of us know is Roe v. Wade only covers abortion.
Abortion rights.
Abortion rights, correct. So we didn't know that a lot of us didn't know that it covered like contraceptives and
Miranda rights too, right?
I think all of that is within there, and interracial marriage and a few other things. Look, on the side note, the Supreme Court has been wilding out on just tearing shit up and changing the game right now. So there's that. We're only going to focus on the abortion for the most part and why, well, our opinions. Do you have an opinion first? Or you want me to go first on this one?
Nah, you go first because I think we almost got the same opinion.
Okay.
Almost.
So, on a personal note, after doing some research and reading and listening to a bunch of talking points and a bunch of talking heads on the left wing media, right wing media, progressive media that's right in the middle,
conservatives,
I have come to the conclusion that this ain't a black people fight.
Boom!
It's not a black woman's fight.
Boom!
So okay. So how did I get there? Okay. So the white community, our white brothers and sisters over there, they are in decline. In a bunch of places, a bunch of different counties. Their population is going lower due to mixing of the races and all that good stuff. A lot of interracial dating, a lot of interracial marriage, a lot of interracial children. So they're in decline, correct. We are not. The minorities of this country are not. We're on the rise. So when you take that, then you take the next step of the Supreme Court. Rumor has it, and from conversations from Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice what is this man's name and why can't I say it today?
Clarence Thomas. You said
oh
it just
my
now.
God, I know, and
then tripping up over your words or something.
All right, and given how he's been doing a lot of talking and taking a lot of heat for all of this stuff, he was talking about interracial marriage as well. So why would you take away, and this is all conspiratorial, people, so don't quote me on this, but when you take the fact that they're going out the LGBTQ communities, stopping interracial marriages, stopping marriages for the LGBTQ people, and taking away abortion, it kind of makes sense that they would, you know, when you really pay attention to the fact that the community is declining, that these are the steps they were taking. All of the steps they are taking is to stop the decline of their community. That is a conspiratorial thing. That is what all the other media is saying. If you listen to Tucker Carlson on Fox News, he ain't saying it like that. But it's a lot of conservative, a lot of MAGA media going around talking about the whole white replacement theory. They don't want you to talk about CRT. This abortion thing is not a black fight. It's not. And let's just also be honest. Throughout the years, feminism, there's been a difference between white feminism and black feminism. And when it comes down to a lot of black feminists come out and say, when we have issues within the black women community, white feminine women do not step up. I've heard them say it. It's not me making shit up. So when you put all that into a ball, boom.
Roe v. Wade.
It makes sense that Roe v. Wade was going to go first.
Makes sense. It makes sense. Especially after that girl said, what she say? This is a win for white lives. When she said that, I said, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. After
when
that
she
happened.
said that, I was, because at first, honestly, when we first talked about it, because we, like I said, we talked about it in season 5. So when we first talked about it, I honestly thought it was an all of us fight. But as soon as, and even when it was overturned, I was still upset. But as soon as I saw that lady say this is a win for white lives, my whole thought process took a 180. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and a lot of conservative media have been celebrating this turn. And I get it, the state should have more rights. I understand the theory, and it can be sound in some cases, but when you think about certain states and abuse of power, and when you start factoring in those things, it's like, this is not one of those things the state should have control over.
Nope.
Because it's too different.
It's too different. Sleepy Joe pushed a executive order, but, it's going to be a uphill battle with that.
Man. Let's go to the comment section really fast.
Okay.
Ms. Jones said this reversal was 20 years in the making. It's no coincidence that states were putting their draconian laws on the books before the reversal in preparation. You know what? I heard someone say that the difference between the GOP and the Democratic Party is the GOP plays the long game. Mm-hmm. And they really do. Like, they put all their ducks in the row. You kind of have to respect they play the game. When you look at, and I tell people all the time, like, you got to learn the game. When you look at Mitch McConnell, when you look at Trump, or any of those people that you see on TV, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Biden, they all play the long game. And those are the 3 Democrats I called out are the ones that are more Republican than you really pay attention to. Like, they ride the coattails of the Democratic Party, but the top of the Democratic Party is really more like center left. I forgot this.
When I found out that the Democratic Party was just remnants of the Republican Party when they back in the day when they wanted to have just 2 main parties. Even though we have more, parties, those were just the 2 main that they wanted.
Yeah, of course. That's basically, and then when they did split up, they did have 2 ideologies, but then they switched ideologies at some point as well. So,
but are their ideologies kind of similar, just on 2 different sides?
Well, it depends on
what it is.
Okay, basically, what everybody else sees, when the majority of people see, is Democrat versus Republican, but deep down, and what I started to notice around when the Tea Party came up, remember that? Is there are subdivisions of different parties.
Yeah.
It's more than just liberal, conservative, and center. It's more than that. You have neocons. I can't exactly tell you what all these are, but I'm just saying that you have progressives. They're basically Democrats, but they feel different ways about the Democratic Party. Like, I consider myself to be a progressive. I said that on the show before. So, I'm for getting rid of a lot of the older politicians, especially those that don't know anything. Because
especially the lady that supposedly, allegedly got dementia.
Oh, yeah, and that lady, right? I think Jill Stein's still there.
She is.
Comment here. Ms. Jones again said one has overt racism and one has covert racism, which is absolutely correct.
Yes.
Which is absolutely correct. Look at Biden. Biden told us, like, he told us at the beginning that nothing will fundamentally change.
Yep.
And he was absolutely correct. Nothing has actually changed. The same things that was going on as we've been going forward, we was upset with Trump. It's basically a continuation. And in fact, for the most part, every president, except for like a few outliers, have done the same exact thing. It's just a different level of it. So,
actual factuals.
I mean, until we get in there and we actually find candidates this year that's gonna make a change, that we get behind it, we push like we push the popular parties, nothing is going to change. Like, if you're gonna be a Democrat, I urge you to look into progressive movement, because the progressive movement is like 90% of what the popularity wants. They want Roe v. Wade. They want education for the free education, free college, community college education. They want the student loans paid off by the government. Like, what? Student loans council. Like, these are the things that progressive want.
Why are we considered one of the greatest companies? Lord Jesus. Our country is a company, but...
Yeah. I mean, you was right.
Well, I know. But why are we considered one of the greatest countries, and to get higher education, we got to pay for it? That just doesn't make any sense. A lot of countries out here don't pay for college.
They don't pay for college. They got
good health care,
maternity leave, paternity leave,
paternity leave.
Did we say healthcare? We say healthcare. Free college education. It's a whole bunch of stuff that everybody else, every other major country has that we just don't have. So it just is what it is.
I hate it here. So no, let me stop saying that. I'm not going anywhere. Where else am I gonna go? So again, I don't think Roe versus Wade is a black problem. We're just black. We're just a casualty. Yes, I get it. Our community get abortions too, and yes, in the beginning it probably was targeted at black women, but now an overwhelming majority, it's almost even out for real. That every community gets abortions, and again, I heard the water bad down there, sis.
So say she moving to Mexico.
She said a lot of black people are moving to Mexico. I said
I'm not moving to Mexico, man. My stomach would be messed up. I'm kidding. I don't know if the water's bad. I'm kidding. I can't. I
had this conversation with somebody. I was like, but doesn't the cartel like run the country? And they was like, so.
As long as you ain't doing nothing illegal, and it was basically the same thing.
What's the difference?
Oh, but real talk. I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna move on. So how did I come up with my theory of falling into the "this is not a black fight" and we're just casualties of the system at this point? Back in the day when welfare was implemented, overwhelmingly welfare was only offered to white people.
Yes, it was. And
then in around the 60s and 70s,
even
black people, it's still the same, but around the 60s and 70s, that's when black people were allowed to get on welfare, and white people got upset. Some racist white people got upset. Those racist white people were politicians. They changed the narrative on it. They made it harder to get. Then they said that every black person on welfare was lazy and unproductive and don't want to work. That type of thing happened. And then when they changed the laws, they literally was like, okay, you changed the laws now that black people can. They did all that stuff, and they were like, we're doing it to hurt black people, but white people are just casualties here. And that was the moment when I heard old buddy say it when he was explaining. I was like, Roe v. Wade. This is exactly what Roe v. Wade is. We're just casualties in this. Like, you can fight. I'm not saying don't fight it. If you want to fight it, fight it. I'm just letting you know that we wasn't the target this time. Like, don't feel like you're the target this time. You're not. You're just a casualty of this target.
You're just a casualty.
We got to move on because we still got other things to talk about.
And
unless you got something else to add.
We draw into the close or here. No, I think we done hit every topic. Not every topic, but every bullet point for Roe v. Wade at this point.
Okay, yeah.
Anything else is gonna be emotional for me, and I ain't got time for that.
You don't feel like getting emotional no more. You had your one emotional moment has been spent already.
Yes.
You know what? Since Andrea said many black people are moving to Mexico, if you wanted to move out of the country, where would you go? Like, would you
Me?
even have? Yeah, like, would you have like a destination where you would
I
want to
don't
go?
have a destination because some countries like some country might have like really good health care, but the crime rate might be high,
True,
or
true,
they pay
true.
for college and higher education, but they don't give paternity leave. I think the one country was it Sweden, Switzerland, one of those European countries. They have like paternity leave, healthcare, all that. But like their black population is like two, so
Not the two.
just two, and then I'll make three. So it's like I don't know. So it's hard. It's really hard. It's hard because it's like one of those. You know how you try to change your mindset?
Yeah.
It's like that. So I haven't done too much. I was getting really frustrated, and at this point, like I want to deal with stuff that's going on in the United States, but at the same time, I don't. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll go visit some of these different countries, see to get a feel for it, and you know, or I could just go to New York. They do anything that they want in New York.
Yo, it do be feeling like they just be wilding in New York. Shout out to New York if you listening from New York.
They
Shout out to
do.
you.
They really do. They literally do anything. So
I don't know. I think honestly, I think it's gonna be Canada, man. It's gonna be Canada. I can find some random place where ain't that many people, but there's a nice black population, and I can just settle in Canada. I'd be okay with that.
you
A
gonna
lot of
learn
people nice.
French?
No, I'm just gonna use Google Translator and just put it in their face. I'm gonna say it in the phone. Be like,
You got at least be like, oui, bonjour.
I can say no, no, no. That's all you get from me.
Je m'appelle. No, no. Okay, that's all I know in French. By the way, that's it. Oh, and on the boys, when he always be like, mon coeur.
Oh my! I forgot about the boy. Oh, hold on. All right, and we got to move on. This is the last thing about moving out of the country. We're not actually moving out of the country. People. We're just joking here. But anyway, Andrea chiming in with the facts again. She says, "Don't forget, you have to give up your U.S. status if you leave. If you don't, you'll be double taxed. It's like a punishment for leaving the U.S." I didn't know that. That's new.
I didn't know that either. That's so petty, bruh. Oh, you want to be you're a citizen, but since you want to leave us, it's okay. We'll still send you that tax money. We still need that tax money.
So if you decide to leave, get your bread up. If you want to be a double citizen,
A dual
get your bread up.
Mm-hmm.
Do that thing. Make sure you ain't broke, and then just go. Do you? Maybe Belize.
Even people that come here that have like a that like their job brought them here or whatever the case may be, they gotta pay taxes too. United States gonna get their money.
The United States is petty.
Money.
Y'all right. The United States is indeed petty. All right, let's move on to. Let's get on to some more of this pop culture drama. Let's talk about Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Okay, so it's
Elon
two
Musk
stories
and
with
the
Elon.
Musketeers.
It's two stories I want to talk about. I just want to briefly touch on the fact that him and Trump been going at it. Elon, listen, y'all know we be kicking it on Twitter a lot, so we love Twitter, right? At the BK Space Show. Elon, a few months back, was talking about buying Twitter. I knew he wasn't gonna buy Twitter. A lot of other people knew he wasn't gonna buy Twitter, but for him to be such a smart businessman, the man literally was like, "I'm going to pay this much for it." He was going to overpay for it. I think it's like, what is it, 4 million? Was it 4 million? Something like a lot of money. It might have been billion, but whatever the case was, I think it was 4 billion. He was gonna overpay for it, and this man didn't do his due diligence. So he signed the contract. Now they're suing him, I believe. Now he got to pay like $1 billion of that to them if he's, if the courts say so, of course. But I knew he wasn't gonna buy it. Elon is a clout chaser. Everybody knows that. He's gonna go with whatever's gonna get him the most clout.
And you don't even need to be a
he's a narcissist, man. He's a narcissist. He don't have to be. That's how you know he's a narcissist. Was he always a Texan?
I think he's born in Texas.
Okay. I don't want to say he's a narcissist. That's allegedly.
He's a narcissist.
Allegedly, he's a narcissist.
He got narcissistic behavior for sure.
Yeah, I knew it was because Twitter was like they had put out a tweet like maybe 2 weeks before he decided to buy it, and they were like, "We're gonna add the edit button." And then he came up and was like, "I'm gonna buy Twitter, and the first thing I'm gonna do is add the edit button." And then he let all his followers go him into buying Twitter for that clout that he was chasing, and now he got to pay for it. But that's not why we're talking about Elon today. We're talking about his father. What's his name?
The Musketeers. Errol. Errol.
Errol.
Errol.
We're talking about Errol Musk. Do you have that article on you?
I think I do.
If you don't, we could just talk about it. You could just tell the people what happened with Errol.
Errol Musk, nasty self.
Nasty.
Just nasty. Decided to have a relationship with his stepdaughter. Not only did he have a relationship with this stepdaughter, they also had a kid together.
Wow. That's some
nasty.
wild. That is gross.
And his only rebuttal to the whole thing was, "Well, we were only put here to reproduce."
Wait, that's what the daddy said?
That's what the daddy said. That's why I'm trying to find the article, because I ended up reading the whole article.
Lord.
We were put here to reproduce.
But not with your own stepchild.
Your stepchild. And he raised her since she was 4.
So he groomed her.
Basically.
That's nasty. Bruh. You know how we feel about groomers. You know, we kind of went in on Drake Bell too. So, I'm just saying,
There's one groomer we did not put in the docket. And it just popped into my head.
Who?
We did not.
It is giving Woody Allen vibes.
We did not talk about this before the show. What is his name?
I don't know.
His name? The guy that plays the Flash.
Which one? Which Flash?
The new Flash.
Oh! Damn.
What is his name?
No. I can't remember.
Me. I can't remember his name.
Hey, yo, I see his head. I see his face in my head right now, and I cannot think of his name. But the Flash has been wilding out. The movie Flash, not Grant Gustin, not the good Flash. I know his name.
Is
the other one? I'm looking it up right now.
Eris? Not Eris.
Ezra
Miller. There you go. Ezra.
Yeah, I forgot.
You going to hell. You're nasty. You're trifling. You're dirty. You're disgusting.
I remember like how this all kind of just randomly started with Ezra. Mm-hmm. Like he was calling out some random group, sound like KKK group or something like that. And he was like, "You know who you are. I'm coming for you." And then months later, he was getting kicked out of a bar and arrested.
Now I'm starting to think, was he part of this white supremacist group? And then since he didn't conform to do, they blasted him for his grooming. Because I'm pretty sure in white supremacy, they do a lot of grooming. I'm pretty sure of it. But it just begs, you just wonder. Is that why? Because out of nowhere, Ezra was like the new big thing for DC universe. You know, he was the next big thing, and then out of nowhere, he's a nasty. He's a groomer. You know. Yo,
it did come out of nowhere, and usually, and all this is alleged. I mean, that part, what you just said, was he a part of it? I don't know.
Was alleged. That's alleged.
All I know is, he was grooming this child. And then, like, did they run away together? Did they run away together?
Child, he got like a farm in Vermont. Kids on the farm with the mother. And
he was ducking away from the police.
Yeah.
Yo.
His story it's a lot of layers. It's a lot of layers.
Like, I'm concerned about the well-being of those people. And see, when you do stuff like this, especially when you're an actor, when you do stuff like this, you you put a lot of people's careers at risk.
Mm-hmm.
How much work people don't understand that. That's what be angry me about celebrities when they do stuff with, and why I also kind of find it interesting or intriguing and whatnot. It's so many lives you put at stake. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're I ain't talking about the higher ups that get all the money. I'm talking about the other people. You know, those thousands of people you see when the camera is rolling. Got the hiccups, y'all. When the camera when the camera is rolling, like all those people, they're not making millions of dollars. They have families to feed. They have debts and stuff, and then you be
Mm-hmm.
reckless like this with your life and with your career. A lot of people's lives are depending on this celebrity succeeding, this movie succeeding, and you only get so many shots and so many jobs before what's the problem, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for a lot of people that's involved, especially with any of the DC movies. Even though DC got the money to rebound, that puts that whole franchise on lock, which is thousands of
Child,
people not
listen,
getting
we not
paid.
going to see a good DC, like live action DC whole like a I guess like a Marvel event, like how they had Infinity War and Endgame. We probably don't get that until we in our 50s. I ain't even gonna hold you.
I don't know.
No,
We
for
might get it
real.
with The Rock and Shazam, and nobody to play Black Adam and Shazam. But we could it could
You know
work.
how I feel about The Rock as an actor. I feel like he's literally The Rock in everything he's in. So if
I
he
agree.
is good, if he does good in Adam, maybe I will have a different opinion about the DCEU. But until then, nah, 50's looking like it to me.
So let's get back on
Back.
Elon before we move on.
Let's get
Before we
back.
move on,
So Errol, we're gonna just say Errol. That's how you pronounce. We're gonna
I
say
think
how
it's
that's pronounced.
pronounced Arrow. I know that name. I think it's Arrow. I heard it before.
He trifling. That's nasty. He definitely groomed this stepdaughter of his. They had like a relationship for a few years. Um, it's, that's disgusting. How can you watch somebody grow up from a toddler and then you just like, oh, that's my girlfriend now? What? And
Yeah, it is weird. It's
they're like
weird behavior, man.
almost 30 years apart, maybe 40 years apart.
So, do we know how Elon feels about this? Like, he got to have an opinion, right? Has he
Child,
said
I ain't seen
anything?
nothing about Elon. I haven't seen anything that Elon said about his daddy yet.
He probably won't.
He probably won't.
Given the fact that him
Because
and Trump are in a feud, Trump are in a feud. I want to see. I feel like Trump gonna bring it up.
then what's so crazy? Oh, Trump will go low because you know he's go lows. Then we just found out that Elon has 10 children of himself. I thought he only had the two with the ex and then the two with the girl Grimes.
Yeah.
But I didn't count six others.
Wow.
And then his rebuttal to that was when all of that information came out. He was like, "Well, he's just trying to help with the depopulation." He didn't say depopulation of white people, but we know that's where
Yeah. Yeah.
where the numbers are
Yeah.
falling. We know,
Cause
and then that goes back to the fact that Roe v. Wade is not our fight.
yep.
The
I was just about
overturn.
to. Yeah. I was saying full circle, baby. Full circle. Trump gonna be like Elon Musk. Your daddy is nasty, but he can't really say much because he be trying to holler at his
Trump,
daughter though.
Trump can't,
Allegedly.
do, Trump can't say nothing. But
Okay, is it allegedly? Because we got a lot of footage of him talking about how fine his daughter is. I mean, he ain't say it like that, but dude really do got a thing
he
for his
basically
daughter
said it
though.
like that. But he basically said it like that though.
My daughter
If
is
I'm
the
not mistaken,
baddest chick
if I'm not
in
mistaken, didn't he
Washington.
say something weird like if he wasn't if she wasn't his daughter that he
Yeah,
would date her or something? Didn't he say something weird like that?
something along
Yeah,
those
that's
lines.
weird. That's
Right.
weird. Don't nobody say that about their kids.
For real. Hey, speaking of Trump and weird, and this is gonna segue into our next story. By the way, my
Oh
segue game is gonna be
shit.
dope. Last night, I ended up watching this documentary about Victoria's Secret. If I think it's a show. I watched the first episode,
Hmm.
and it's called Angels and Demons. Victoria's Secret's Angels and Demons, and it's about the owner of Victoria's Secret, the guy that owns it, and his relationship, at least that first episode was his relationship with Epstein, and how Epstein kind of finagled his way into that man's life and got power of attorney over all his assets, all the business he had, and all that, and how he was also using his power to say he was and they ended it, the first episode, with a model talking about how he called her and was like, hey, I'm Epstein and I am a what is it, not a groomer, that's not the word I'm looking for. He was basically saying that he was a scout for Victoria's Secret, and that's how they ended the episode, and then they was going on to the next episode. Anyway, speaking now that it's going into what is his first name? What is Epstein's first name?
Jeffrey.
Going into Jeffrey Epstein and what we know about Epstein. Let's talk about Ghislaine.
Oh, the handler.
His handler, and R. Kelly, and the sentencing that they both received recently here, which I found kind of weird that both of those sentencings came really close together.
They were like a couple of days apart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think that was a whole week.
I don't think so. And allegedly, this feels a little bit. It feels shady. You know how they trying to give you the carrot? They give you the carrot, and then they give you and then they give you what the misdirection comes. So, because Kel's got 30, Maxwell got 20.
But this is what we were talking about, because there's a part of me that feels like the reason why he got more in an extensive sentencing is because he was doing the act himself. He was sex trafficking the girls himself. He was having these relations with women underage, with girls underage. Let me say it like that. With girls underage himself. Mm-hmm. Whereas Ghislaine was like sort of like the accomplice.
Yeah,
so that is the only reason why I would think. But
and I think you would be absolutely right, though. But we gotta talk about optics. Go ahead, you first. I say mine after.
At the same time, either way, no way you put it, both of them did some very atrocious, disgusting things. You know. Yeah. But I really think that that's why he got more of a sentence on top of him being black.
I agree with you.
And you know he's also in court again for some other charges right now. So he could get convicted of something else.
Yeah. I agree with you to an extent.
Oh, she was participating.
She was. But I think it depends on how she was. Like, was she just a part of... Was she like a part of it from the beginning? Did he just bring her in to do this and she was a willing participant? Or was it more like, I don't have a choice but to do this? And then she was just so good at it. And kind of like, what's the thing when you get kidnapped? Stockholm Syndrome. Okay. In that sense, was it like that? Now, see, that I can understand them giving her a little bit. You still got to do your time, but maybe take away that 10 that R. Kelly got because of the syndrome, if that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? I don't know for sure. I didn't really get a chance to read it. I don't think they really talked about all that.
I don't really like reading those stories because they make me so angry.
I usually check the documentaries.
Yeah, like I just don't understand how somebody can be so sick to hurt children. Like, kids, they can't do nothing for themselves.
I'm still trying to figure out how the hell Jeffrey Epstein was able to swindle his way to the top. This is
he ain't killing himself. Say nah.
This is allegedly. This man dropped out of college. Still found a way to get into rooms and areas that the normal person wouldn't have been able to get in. Then get offered buku's amount of money. I said buku. I know ain't nobody used that word since the 90s. He was offered buku amounts of money, given a whole bunch of power, and lorded it over so many people. We talking celebrities, presidents, Trump, Clinton. Clinton's wife.
Actors, actresses, entertainers, billionaires.
Yo, you know how they always talk about the Illuminati? Like, yo, this man had more people on the payroll. I don't want to say payroll. Had more people in his corner in some sense, or payroll.
On his docket.
Yeah, than any story I've heard. Like, yo, this is some crazy. This is trumping Cosby and Weinstein. This is literally, that guy was the kingpin, and his second in command only got 20 years. I feel like girl from Smallville probably got more. I don't know how many years she got for being in that. What was it, Nexium? Was that what it's called, or something like that? That cult she was in, that sex cult she was in. I feel like I don't even think she got like. Did she get? I know she probably got some time because they were branding people too, though. They were raping and branding motherfuckers. Like, oh, excuse my language.
Too late. It's out there now.
Yeah, I got mad comfortable right there. Whatever the case was, I was disappointed in her too, by the way. I was a fan of hers. And then find out that she was a part of that cult out here branding women and taking their money and stuff. It was disappointing.
Ghislaine only got 20 years because of how many people could fall with her? Just like the exact reason why there's always a alleged thing about Jeffrey Epstein killing himself. Because he could have... Say Jeffrey Epstein was still alive, right? How many people do you think he could have taken down with him?
All of them.
My point exactly.
You know who ain't really saying much? The Victoria's Secret guy. Like, he was so second in command. Because I think that guy is... I'm pretty sure he's still alive. So,
the Victoria's Secret guy?
Yeah. So, he ain't saying nothing. Or he hasn't said anything. Or he didn't say anything. Nobody knows how he just gave up his power of attorney. Let this man run so many businesses. Got this man so much money. It's so weird. It's just a weird story. And I want to know. Like, I'm nosy enough to want to know how all of that just ballooned into this. So, yeah, I kind of watch a bunch of the documentaries and stuff. Like, my man's was sick. She was sick. Ghislaine was sick. R. Kelly was sick. But compared to what Ghislaine now was... For real, but what he was doing is small potatoes compared to her.
I actually used to feel bad for R. Kelly. I used to. For the simple fact that he was one of those people that were abused, so he wanted to be the abuser. But after a while, it's like people were feeding into him because they used his genius to get paid as well. Like, we all know he was a musical genius. We know that. His voice is all over the 90s. We know that.
Yeah.
But... that doesn't mean he's not sick. That doesn't mean that, we can't get a check from him.
We enable power. Like, that's what we do in this country. That's what we do in this world.
In Congress.
Absolutely. Except for like 7 people.
Except for that twerking senator or whatever she's trying to be.
We're going to talk about it in a second. But yeah, the sentencing, I don't think is really that far off. I think it's weird the way they announced them all. We all know R. Kelly's story extensively at this point. We ain't got to get into it. Just know he got sentenced. And I just found it weird that his sentencing came right before they gave hers. Because I think a lot of America was paying attention to hers. And it should have been a lot more.
Well, all her court cases have been going on since sometime last year, I want to say. When they first started.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So it is very weird. That timing is very, very weird.
They're being so careful that they're taking their time with her when we didn't see other cases of these mass RAPE situations. I don't want to say the word too much. Or sexual misconduct cases take that long. They get them, they book them within 6, 7, 8, 9 months or however. Not even the court case itself, they might take them to jail, but then when their court case hit, it's a few weeks and they out of there. This one has been going on a minute. So I feel like, again, the reason that they put R. Kelly in front of her that was like the, and then here comes the real. Don't be angry at us, but this is all we could do. I think that's what it was. Like, I feel like their hands were tied.
A shame.
Can we talk about the twerking senator and then we'll end the show?
I think more senators should twerk.
I'm enjoying senators, these younger candidates coming out doing random young stuff here recently. Like,
yeah, because the cabinet is old.
Yes, and that's what we. When people talk about they need to have some decorum, no, they don't need to have decorum. This is decorum. Like, we're a youthful generation. We twerked. We were at parties. A lot of us did smoke weed. Some of us did harder drugs. A lot of us drank. Let these people be human.
On Nuck if you buck, baby. Like, what? What else are we supposed to be doing?
Listen, I was at parties at 6 and 7 listening to Ride That Train.
Riding, coming,
Doodoo Brown. Doodoo Brown. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Got older, we in here from the windows to the wall.
From the windows to the wall.
Like, let these people be human. Let these people be human. They're humans. I don't... Listen, that one senator... that one guy running for senator, they got somebody.
I don't think she's a senator yet, though. I think she's running for senator.
She's running for it. It's another guy that's running for senator against Dr. Oz, I believe. I think he's running for senator, and he got snooky. He did one of those calls where you pay the celebrity to say whatever, pretty much whatever personal message you want. And she sent one to Dr. Oz because Dr. Oz got a house in New Jersey, but he's living somewhere else. But he was acting like he be in New Jersey. Or vice versa. He acting like he lives somewhere else, but really he lives in New Jersey or whatever. And she was like, "Come on back to New Jersey. We miss you. You know. We hope you have a good vacation where you are, but don't forget about New Jersey." I was like, "Yo,
Jersey.
That was some epic trolling shit right there." So I need more of that. I need more petty. Give me more petty.
I need more human interaction.
That too. These robots ain't doing it for me no more.
These robots is not it's not giving what it's supposed to be gave. Okay, and like we always said, the cabinet, the Congress, everybody is just so old. I think I said this in season 5, like the very last episode or 2 episodes before it. I said, how are they going to be making these laws and they're not even going to live long enough to see them in action?
They're not. These people are literally enacting laws and rules just to say, my legacy, this is what I've been running for, this is what I've been working for. Damn change, damn how everybody else feel. I was a Christian and I said I was going to do this 50 years ago and I'm still trying to do it now.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is number 1. I know everybody's like, well, he's on our side.
He's too old, and come to find out, he's the oldest president we ever had.
Joe Biden's too old. Trump shouldn't run again. I love Bernie, but I'm on the fence.
Bernie,
although he's old, but if I had to pick between the 3 old men, he is. If I had to pick between the 3 old men, Bernie would probably be the one because he actually understands that he ain't gonna be here for this.
He got a son?
He don't. I don't think. Do he? I don't think so. But at least he understands that we should have our own new sets of rules and new sets of culture and stuff within Washington. So
now,
I would give him that.
Believe that. Now, if his old self can believe that, why can't everybody else get on the train?
Listen, when I seen Congress have this whole conversation about how email works and how Facebook works, I knew we were doomed. I was like, damn it.
Hey, Andrea said these were the same old people mad when Obama wore a tan suit. Almost forgot about that controversy.
Yo, it was like a whole front page 10-day thing, wasn't it?
I wish there was an age limit to these positions as well, Andrea. I wish it was as well, because it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense how you could spend 50 years in Congress. 50 years ago, a lot of things that were accepted then aren't accepted now, or the things that are accepted now weren't accepted then. So it's like, every single
technically now things that was accepted then is now again accepted now because they made it that way. So
you're right.
them old knackers pulled up something off. What what Tiffany Red call them dusties. I call
Them
half of Congress.
crusties.
Half of Congress is dusty, crusty, negative people. Like I love, no, I love humans. Okay, so I love everybody, but let's just be real here. Nancy Pelosi need to just go ahead, take her wine self, go run your wine, take your stock and go. It was cool having you here. You did something.
We appreciate you.
I don't know about
Thank you
all
for your
that.
time.
I mean, you stopped some stuff, so I guess yeah. But move on. It's time for you to go. Hit the bricks.
Time to
It's
go.
over for you. It's over.
Every single seat of the House of Representatives is up for election this year. And I think half of the senators, I forgot the exact number, but like half of the senators are up for election this year as well. We got to vote them out. We got to.
Yo, when I went to go
But
vote,
then
I
I realized
noticed that
people
half the
don't
ballot
really be
was.
voting.
Yeah, I
realized
know.
people
That's what I was
don't
gonna say.
be voting. Because here inside of DC, everybody I know for a fact has been saying, let's get rid of the mayor. Let's get rid of the mayor. Historically, DC has always had a Democratic mayor. Why is the mayor about to be the mayor again?
Because it's hard to find people that effectively runs against people
Everybody
in the city.
else.
Like
Or
I was here, and like half of the ballot was the Republicans, and like maybe 8 Democrats across all positions. Like there's nobody to oppose anybody here. Us in Alabama, a lot of
Now-
these Republicans run unopposed.
now, Mayor Muriel Bowser, she had some people up against her. It's just that the people didn't go out and vote. Like she had like what 51% of the Democratic votes. The one guy that everybody I know that they was like, I'm gonna vote for him. I vote for him. He only had like what 13%.
Damn.
So I mean, people gotta go vote. It does matter. Voting does matter.
It absolutely does, man. And we got to wrap the show up. But if there's one thing we leave you with, please go out and vote.
Please
like,
vote. Please.
Hold on, let me take that back. Please do your research first, then go out and vote. It's really not that hard. If you see somebody's name on the sign, read the sign, Google their name, pick up your phone, ask Google, who is this candidate? There's something somewhere about this candidate somewhere. Has to be. And if there's nothing, then try to find them and talk to them. If they don't want to talk to you, vote for the other person. If these people are not in your community, if these people are not talking to you, they're not answering your questions, do not vote for them.
Facts.
And then if they're assholes about answering your questions, do not vote for them.
Facts.
And if you really don't like your candidates and you feel like you could do a better job, then get out the house and do the better job.
Oh, baby, you done said something right there.
Like that's it. Like I know I can't. I know I can't be an effective candidate. So I do this. I get on here and say, hey, I'm not gonna tell you who to vote for, who to vote for.
Do it.
I can't tell you who to vote for, but just do your research.
I couldn't do it
find
either
somebody.
because the first time that I get pissed off on the candidacy, I'm cussing everybody out on the mic. Like it couldn't be me either.
so political office is not for you. Hold on, wait a minute. Take that back. It worked for Trump.
Yeah,
it did work for Trump.
And if you want to run for the presidency, BK, by all means, you old enough at this point. Oh my God!
That was cold blooded.
I wasn't trying to be like.
That was
I wasn't
cold.
saying it. I wasn't.
That was cold blooded.
I wasn't saying it.
That was cold blooded, ma'am.
I wasn't saying it like that, BK. I was just saying that you know the requirements to be the president of the United States. You gotta be a U.S. born citizen.
Yeah.
And you gotta be 35. That's it. Those are the only requirements.
Which is crazy, right? You get all this power. You get the nuclear codes, and all you got to do is be old enough for them.
You get the nuclear. You get the button. You get the button and that secret book, because you know there's an alleged secret book that only the presidents know about.
Facts. So if we see aliens anytime soon, are you running or are you talking to them?
It depends. If they come in hostile, I ain't got no choice but to run. But where am I running to is the question. But if they are not hostile, I'ma talk.
Carol, that was betrayal.
And they better not. And they better not. Kevin, chill out. And they better be nice. But at the same time, how do we know that we're not talking to aliens every day?
Well, I know I'm not.
Allegedly, one of these creators of one of these big companies, I ain't gonna say no names, Schmetta, but they supposed to be.
See, this is how you know. This how you know we almost at the end of this.
We almost at the end.
That's how you know.
Allegedly, that person's a lizard person, so I'm just saying we never really know.
I see how you take photos.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. We're gonna say allegedly on that one.
We're gonna say allegedly. You know, we're gonna just say allegedly. This is
all right.
As always.
It has, man. I've been jumbling up over my words long enough for this hour and a half. We've been.
And we just getting back in the swing of things. We've been off for what, 2 months?
Yeah, it has been a while. Glad to be back.
Swing of things.
Glad to be back. It was fun. So, are you okay with being live every week now?
Yeah, I'm here for the live. We live, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like it too. It allows you to be a little bit more laid back.
Yeah, we're a little bit more laid back. I feel like I'm not like, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't feel like I'm too serious. Like when we were just sitting there recording, I feel like I was always just too serious.
Yeah.
And I also like interacting with the comments that all of our viewers leave during the show. And that could always spark up like a new idea. So yes, I'm definitely here for the lives.
We should keep this going.
I think we should keep it going.
All right, Space Gang. We do have to end this. Like we was like, we're gonna be an hour. We over. Like we doing 1 hour. We got this.
No. We agreed on 115 because 115. We agreed on 115 because how many topics we have to go over.
You right.
So I mean, we only a few minutes over at this point. So we doing good. We doing good.
Thank you guys for coming through on these comments. I know if you're watching live or watching a replay, you see me looking over. I'm just reading the comments. That's all.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I was looking down at my phone. I mean, I had a couple of little messages, but other than that.
Yeah, I know if you're on YouTube and do live videos all the time, yeah, but some of our audience may not be. So a lot of these people don't even have YouTube accounts. So just saying, you should get one and subscribe to the BK Spadez Show on YouTube. Okay. And you should go to our website at www.thebkspadeshow.com and order that new t-shirt that we just put out because it's up right now. We got a logo tee, a straight up regular old logo tee, where I will show you really fast, and we're going to do this really quick. All right, if you're looking at the screen here, this is our beautiful website. You should definitely go check that out. You see that we got blogs, we got a shop. You're going to come on down here to where you see Novacaine's avatar right here. You're going to click her. Boom, right there. Take you right to the shop. And boom, we got shirts, we got mugs, we got the hoodie.
Don't forget the mask.
And we got a maskus and stuff. That's how the old people used to say it, maskus. So I'm just saying, definitely hit that up. Don't forget, we got the blog. I know I haven't updated in a while. I've been mad busy, you guys, and I'm going to get back on that. And
yes, and I still got some haikus.
We got a get to know us section. That's right there. You click on the avatar, you learn about the site. We got the audio podcast. If you just want to hear our beautiful voices, you know what I'm saying? And Nova scream at you and stuff. It's right here. Boom. Season 5 finale. Miss Andrea. We got her episode. She was She was in the comments too. And be sure you guys check out the. Make sure you hit her Gmail account or email her, so you know you could donate